to the Big Tega Podcasts.
Welcome to the Big Tega Podcast. I'm here today with my great friend, JSB, who has been an entertainer for many years. This guy is awesome. I've watched him. I've listened to him several times at different events. He is great at what he does. JSB, you're welcome to Big Tega Podcast. How you doing?
Yo, I feel very special, you know. I mean, it's Big Tega Podcast. Yay. You know, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad to have you here.
Well, we're about to have a very solid movie because I have a lot to say, and I'm glad you actually brought me on here. And since it's the Big Tega Podcast, we're going to be open up a lot.
Yeah. So quickly, tell me about your story.
Well, so the whole thing started, the magic started in 2000. That was when I figured out that there was some kind of a gift. I started sniffing something like a gift. So my dad woke me up at very early hours to go iron his shirt for work. And while I was doing that, I was listening to the radio, and this song came on, Bad Mama Jamma.
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know who actually have the whose song is by, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The old school song. Mm-hmm. And when I heard it, I was blown away, and that triggered something to ignite the gift that has always been there, but I didn't really see it because everyday trauma and struggles. But regardless, when I noticed that, I decided to write a song from Bad Mama Jamma and created a song from there. And when I did, it was nice. It felt good. Then I introduced the song to a friend of mine who said, "Oh, this is whack." That was where the greatness really picked up from.
Yeah.
When he said this is whack, I went back and I was like, hold on. I mean, I can't spend all this time writing all these good lyrics and somebody just tell me it's whack, and then I'll take their opinion and just move with it. Mm-hmm. So I took it upon myself to be more creative, try to study the lyrics, try to know exactly where I went wrong, because they meant to, and it was a gospel song. Oh. So it meant a lot to me. But 2 days after, this same person called me and said, "Hey, you still got that song?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I got a gig and they want me to come perform at the gig, but I don't have a song. And I think your song is the perfect song for that gig."
Oh, awesome.
So what I did was I created a space for him to voice his part. You feel me? It was a 3 verse song. So I gave him the middle verse to voice his part. Then we went to the church to perform the song, and it was amazing. We got a standing ovation. So that blew my brain, like, hold on, you got something here. So after that incident, I continued writing. Now, it did not go on to the level of where I became a man, then realized that a lot of artists are actually hungry.
Yeah.
All they have is fame. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to be famous. I wanted to be paid. Regardless of the fact that it has to have a struggle, a process, a growth, I was ready to take all of that. But I made sure that I will not be among the artists who are not having some kind of funds coming in from their craft.
Yeah.
So I decided to diversify my talent as much as I grew. From being a musical artist, I realized that I'm very good on the camera. Mm-hmm. So I decided to be more of a red carpet host, which made me realize that, I'm good on the mic, because I've always been an MC, and I have some level of people's personality. So I decided to become a hype man, do a lot of clubs, do a lot of gigs and all of that. Then when I realized that, the personality is growing besides the music, the red carpet, and the hype man, I said, okay, what would it look like to host events, weddings, birthdays, ceremony, whatever. Then I decided to venture into hosting by hanging out with comedians. Having done this for a while, then I realized that, hold on, it's way beyond me being an entertainer. It's way beyond me being a host and making sure that I could go and give people joy in their party. This is a lifestyle. Then I realized that a lot of people are depressed, a lot of people are stressed, a lot of people are worried, they live in their head. So I said, okay, instead of being an entertainer and just being a performer, I would use my voice as a platform to help people stop being depressed, in a way of having my stage name as a form of encouragement, and business name as a form of encouragement to have people push themselves regardless of what they're going through. And that's why JSB simply means just stand bold.
Wow. Tell me more about that JSB, that Just Stand Bald.
It all started when I lost my dad in 2003. And my father was a great man. In fact, my father was a celebrity. Let me put it that way. Because he had an incredible come-up story.
Okay.
And because of his come-up story, he was able to network with a lot of people. And he was a choir master, by the way, when he was alive. Okay. So he was good at music.
In what church?
Christ Army Church. This was in Lagos, Nigeria. Olodi Apapa, to be precise.
Wow.
Ajegule.
Boy. I live for women.
Really?
Yes, now.
You know Lanka?
I know that.
I like how the Bobby go.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
So having lost my father in 2003, I started seeing true colors of a lot of family members. And one of the most irritating part of those true colors was I had no value within those people. And I thought I was the most loved because I was always jovial, I was always happy. I've always been a happy kid right from day one. But life and everyday trauma and all that incident groomed me to be very rigid and rugged towards my beliefs. You know, I still have that joyful kid in me, but I have that try Jesus, don't try me kind of character.
So what do you mean by that?
So it simply means it's a Nigerian thing. I'll put it that way because I've heard a lot of Americans and a lot of people say, why are Nigerians like this? So I got to realize, okay, it's a Nigerian thing. Nigeria has zero tolerance for BS. Okay. So try Jesus, don't try me is basically zero tolerance for whoever feels is comfortable bringing BS this way, but for no reason. When we could all be positive, we could all grow together, we could all coexist and make a living of whatever it is we're doing and be happy. You get me?
Yeah.
We choose negativity. So I built a brick wall that says...
So you choose negativity?
No. Like, you know how people be negative in thought and try to transfer aggression.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that, and that's why the word manipulative comes from.
Yeah.
Because people trying to transfer aggression and try to have you think what they're thinking so you could be in the same level with them and be miserable too. So I have a solid brick wall that I created that shuffles negativity.
Okay.
So everything that comes through that brick wall is strictly positivity, regardless of whatever the challenges are. You have to stay focused on a positive mindset around JSB. You get me? And that was where the whole name came from, because I realized a lot of negativity was coming after the man's death. A lot of family members were trying to act funny, and a lot of family members looked at me like, you know, your papa don't die, instead of you to go to school, you won't go, they do music, they do. You understand? Yeah. There was no level of encouragement from the people that I thought.
I mean, in those days, there's this kind of thing. People like a taboo. Like if you are going to music,
right?
If you are going to football,
right?
And some other things like that.
They're useless.
They are useless.
I was neglected because they did not know that I had a school intention in heart. They only saw that I had an entertainment background. So when they eventually found out that I graduated, it became a blow in their brain, because a lot of people never really expected me going to school. But what I decided to do was be an entertainer while studying, because I already knew that this was my life. I knew this from a very long time. I knew about the fact that I will be an entertainer from childhood. From the very first day I had my father, I had, ironed my father's shirt. From that day, in 2000, because this was 2000, Liz the Dragon, I don't want to, that was the period where Cisco was on fire, so I remember. You feel me? So it made me feel like I got something to offer.
Yeah.
But eventually, when I noticed that character, I had already created JSB, but I never had a meaning to it.
Okay.
And yes, JSB actually came from my names, but I didn't want it to sound like my name because it didn't sound right in my hearing.
Okay.
So J started from my English name, John. I go by the name John. I'm actually from Akwa Ibom.
Oh, wow.
I'm actually from Akwa Ibom.
Abadi.
Okay. Akwa Ibom is summer. All my Akwa Ibom people where they watch. Akwa Ibom is summer. So my name is Uwem.
Okay.
Uwem.
It
means life.
Oh, life.
Yes. Uwem edi more. Life is wealth. It's like Undubisi. So apparently, my stage name started from John, which is my English name. And I used to have a dog who was very loyal back then. I named her Snoopy.
Okay.
So Snoopy had the S in the JS.
Oh.
You feel me?
So John Snoopy.
John Snoopy. That was how it was sounding. Now, my last name is Obiowo.
Okay.
And O starts the Obiowo, then it's OB. So I figured if I put a B, it might sound cool. JSB. You feel me?
Okay.
But it doesn't sound right when I hear it. John Snoopy Obiowo.
I can see the rhyme there.
So when I thought about it, and I really wanted people to understand that this is not just a clout chase thing.
Yeah.
This is not, I just want to be star. You feel me?
Sometimes it's not about clout. It's
Yeah.
about what you have, what you believe in.
Thank you.
You know, what God has put in you.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
what God has invested in you to
Yes.
show to the world.
Right.
We all have this thing in us, but, you know, sometimes we don't even know how to show it.
Bro, tell me about it. So when I realized that name was so whack, and one of the best things that I found out about me that I love is I do not lie to myself. Never. I feel yarn with you I want yarn, I feel talk with you I want talk. But to me, if I know say I did misbehave, before somebody tell me, say, guy, you're not doing the right thing. You know they try at all. You understand? I have coordinated myself.
Of course.
So even before that criticism comes and be like, bro, you didn't do right, I already know because I messed up. But if it's something from a hater's perspective that looks like a criticism, I know how to stand guard for people like that or things like that. So anyway, when I thought about it and I lost my father, I got to realize that, oh boy, I need to find a name that encourages people who are in my category, who loses their father and have their family think they're not, strong enough or wise enough to, create positive decisions for themselves for growth and also help the family grow too. So I decided to encourage others to build themselves in situations like that. So I thought of the best way to create that character to portray out there, and JSB sounded very awesome for me. So the best way to do it was to give it a meaning, which simply means just stand bold. You feel me? And I even created an acronym that says, I'm too cold to be old, so I just stand bold. So it's been a beautiful experience so far, and I've seen a lot of people become very bold just by having an encounter with me. I've seen a lot of people have some level of confidence. I've seen a lot of people who get mad unnecessarily because people don't treat them the right way and they don't know how to express themselves. Instead of saying something, they go into a corner and get so angry, and some of them even commit suicide. Because it becomes a depression thing. Yeah. You feel me?
Depression is something that is very terrible. Me personally, I don't think no matter what you've gone through in life, I don't think suicide or depression should lead you to suicide. But I know people have committed suicide because of depression. I'm not being judgmental here. You don't know what happens for people to, what has happened for people to commit suicide.
Yes.
It's a terrible thing.
Right.
But I don't think it's a route.
Yeah. To solve the problem. Like what happened to me in late 2017, late 2018, which I wouldn't like to disclose over here, but the most important thing was I eventually got an encounter with depression. Like it felt like we were living in the same house. Okay. And I started feeling some kind of way, and I also thought of suicide. Because it was like, how can I get out of this? It was becoming too much for me. And because of the fact that I was able to get out of it and create a mindset that works for me, anytime, not every, but anytime I hear someone actually says the word depression in a form of conversation, subconsciously without even knowing.
Yes, it's like a trigger.
Oh my God, I feel like I should do something right now. I feel like I should talk to him. I feel like I should send him some money. I feel like I should help. Because I feel that is my due diligence. Yeah. And from that aspect of my life, it came to a point where I decided to not tell people when they ask you, hey Jay, what should you do for a living? This is always my response now. I make people happy for a living. Yeah. That is always my response. Usually I used to say I'm an entertainer. And they'll be like, oh, you're an entertainer? What do you mean? Then I break it down. But when I tell people who care to listen, I'll be like, I make people happy for a living. Because if you need an MC, if you need somebody to spark your day up, if you need somebody to make you so excited and you don't know who to call, try JSB. You'll be blown away. You'll be like, oh my God, I'm glad we talked. Because I have that charisma and that spirit to want to help an individual who feels they're down. There's nothing, no hope. Man, first of all, I have a lot of faith.
That's good. Well, hold on to that faith for now.
You're watching the Big Tega Podcast.
What makes you different from the others?
So, first of all, the thing about me that is different from every other MC out here or event planner or organizer is the level of a friendly relationship that I create with every of my clients. And I do that because, people are different and they have their own opinions towards what they believe in. And the law of attraction is real. So due to my law of attraction and my experience in life, I've been able to coordinate some level of great-minded people around me. So I want them to feel very comfortable and confident when they're around me. So that transfer of blessing, or that transfer of a good vibe has brought or attracted the right people towards me, and I've been able to have my own fan base. So the differentiation of people out there doing it, besides me, is the come up, the growth. Knowing fully well that I feel like I could easily have whoever on planet Earth work with JSB or just like JSB from the first time they meet JSB, because of my originality and my level of friendship and open-mindedness when it comes to communicating with anybody. So that has created some kind of an ambience of greatness and have people feel very confident and comfortable being around me. And when they book me, it ends up in referrals besides the money.
Okay, how do you see yourself working with other artists and entertainers?
Everything starts with a mindset. Everything starts with a mindset. If you have a terrible mindset, it will show.
Do you have issues? Have you ever had any challenge with any entertainer? How did you resolve that?
I resolved it in a very diplomatic manner, where I put it at the back of my mind that I'm here to work, not fight. Or I'm here to work, not get manipulated. Or I'm here to work, not get insulted or disregarded. So when I smell a rat in a room, there's a dead rat in that room.
What is that one challenge you face with other entertainers or artists?
Value. They choose to devalue an individual, especially coming from where I come from, which is a path where you have little or no help. And I know a lot of people have come from that same background, but it's how they were able to come out of it that matters. And knowing fully well that I didn't have a helping hand, a lot of people took it upon themselves not to try to give me one, because they felt like, who are you? You're not a big name that we could reckon with. Why do we need to pay you this amount because you say it? And I was able to put myself in a position where worrying about them not seeing my value ended up being not a problem for me. So instead of worrying about a client not wanting to pay me for the amount that I charge, I just walk away and let them realize that, oh, that's the guy that we wanted to support. That's the guy we were supposed to book. but we couldn't book him because we didn't have some level of connection with him. Eventually, when they see me at another event, because those same people always see me at different places because they're regular faces, they're very well known, and every time they go somewhere else where someone who had some kind of a belief book me, and they see me there, they eventually see my quality, and they start with the high known, approach. But it's been so well because I haven't really brought up the mindset of being violent or being negative or try to disrespect anybody. Like, take for instance, I had a wedding early this year, and in the wedding, the groom's father come talk to me in my ears. And this man wasn't really speaking to me in my ears, telling me about what he wanted me to do. He was yelling. In one of his words that he used, he said, "I'm a failure." And while he was yelling and saying I'm a failure, he was eating and talking. So you can imagine you understand? The man did spray many things for my ear. So I was so upset. Instead of me to get overwhelmed with anger and slap him, which I would have, I decided to calm down and see how I could approach the matter from a diplomatic point of view. So instead of getting upset, I used the anger in me to raise the energy of the event, the wedding, and everybody had a good time. Now, nobody knew about this incident except me, the groom's father's mother, his mom, and some few people around, the DJ and all that. And eventually, those that got to know about it found a very solid way to tell me thank you about how I handled it, because all I did was make an announcement. If you want to talk to me privately, say it, don't spray it. And I know he got the message. So, in a nutshell of saying that, a lot of people have tried to bring a specific energy my way, but I've been able to see how I could receive it and present it back. So it's been easy for me to move in that direction because I've been able to know who I am and work with people for who they are and not let that affect me and affect my bag.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Wow. Already, I am already an international award-winning artist. I got my first award in California. I've never been to California, so the first time I went to California was to receive an award. In the next 5 years, I see myself working with a lot of Hollywood actors, with also the Nollywood actors. In the next 5 years, I see myself being one of the biggest MCs, hype man we have in America and the world at large. In the next 5 years, I see myself getting involved with activities outside entertainment because of my personal behavior and my personal life, because I choose to attract greatness. And I know greatness doesn't only fall in an entertainment business alone. So in the next 5 years, I see myself doing business with a lot of people that are not even in the entertainment business and creating some kind of a work ethic for people who have talent but no help, like me coming up. And mind you, I don't think I mentioned it, I have 2 businesses here in America that is working for me. I have a home remodeling business where I fix homes. I have a team that I work with that does that for me. I have a specific thing I do for myself when I cannot get a team or my team to go get the job done based on the fact that we have several projects that we're handling. I could easily go out there and take care of it. And it varies like that. So besides the home remodeling business, I have an entertainment business that is working for me. And 2 of them are actually creating a pathway for growth. So in the next 5 years, I see JSB as a brand that would be a platform to help people get jobs and also be able to coordinate and reach out to people who are naturally depressed because of people that they choose to be around and they don't know how to break out of that. I see myself as a big brother to so many people who experience life from a different perspective to teach them that life is not what they see it as and you could be way better even where you stand. So in 5 years from now, I probably might be hanging out with the President of America.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
That's possible, very possible.
Yeah.
You know, you've been talking about some, psychological issues, talking about depression and all that. Can you share a little light on, if you don't mind, about some of those things that you've gone through?
First things first. Depression comes from an encounter of meeting people who have less value for human beings. I came across a lot of them. One particular thing that I keep remembering, it's not like a problem to me. I just remember it for conversation's sake. And it ends there. It's like I have a file for it. And when I want to talk about it, I bring it out. And when I'm done, I put it back there. And I don't even think about it because it's nothing to me. So I used to know somebody who I was very loyal to. And one fateful day, having walked a couple miles towards the location just to hang out with some set of individuals, I saw that same buddy over there. And I walked up to him and I was like, yo, what's good? You know, subconsciously, I don't know if he was having a bad day or something, but his response was very alarming. He was like, knowing fully well that I'm next to him, just like how you're close to me. Like, hey man, what's good with you? He was like, who's that? And I was like in my play mood, JSB, man. And he spot.
Wow.
And he didn't do it jokingly. He did it like, man, I haven't liked you for a minute. I have been pretending because a lot of people around me seems to like you. But today I want to show you my true color. And I was glad because that changed a lot of narrative towards people for me. And forget the fact that I talk about this. I always bring out the positive energy and good spirit to anybody, not every. But the zero tolerance for BS is where you will never find me. And that zero tolerance also falls under my business, where I am being invited to an event. And in that event that I'm being invited to, it's obvious I don't have value there. They just want me there because they just want me there. But they don't need me there. So instead of me to get upset, I walk away. Then I start receiving phone calls. Have you left? Why did you leave? I'm like, because you don't see value. But I don't put it like that because you don't see value. I just let them know that I'm busy, I got places to be at, and I got people to see. And haven't gotten to that level in my life. I felt like it is time I let people know that you are worth way more than what you think people think about you. So there are several things that have happened. There are several incidents. One of them happens to be the MC that I told you about, spitting in my ear and all that. You know, there have been several ones. There was an incident that happened back in Nigeria that I got an American visa. I was trying to get flight money. I was trying to get tickets to America, and I used to work with an establishment. And I was trying to have the CEO of the place support me with some plane tickets to come to America. But I don't think he was happy to know that I found a way to get a visa. You know, because I used to be the one who just come to the office. And mind you, most of the places that I worked in never hired me. Mind you, most of the clubs that I've hosted in Abuja before coming to America never hired me.
That's so.
Because I ruggedly entered there, grab the microphone and kill it. And when I kill it, the owner of the place, the promoters, and the DJ couldn't take off the microphone from me because they were enjoying every bit of what I was doing. So I started making money off spray. Person will spray me money, I'll gather the money before I know it's here, but I don't get something for 1 week, 1 month, you know? And I was able to make a lot of money off that. And that was how I was able to pay my ticket to come to America. So one fateful day, there was this lady selling abacha and asun. Mm-hmm. So she came around the office area and she didn't have abacha that day. So she had a bunch of meat. So she sold us a lot of meat that day. And I was very hungry. So while I was eating the meat from my boss's table, that moment, this man was calculating every meat and was billing me. Really? For every meat I ate that day, I paid for it 20 naira. I wasn't worried about it. I was glad I paid. Because now he doesn't have anything on me. He can't say that he did this for me, but I appreciate him because he gave me a platform to always be around that environment. That was where I was able to get some level of internet instead of going to Cyber Cafe. I could go to his establishment, I'll stay there, I'll receive the email that was sent to me from the American embassy to know when my interview is and all of that. You know, it was an avenue for me to leave the house, which I did, you know. But at the end of the day, I was glad that character came out, because majority of the people who have done me wrong, I don't see them as an enemy. I appreciate them, because if they did not do me wrong, I know go wise today.
Well, it can be like that sometimes. You know, when you're trying to evolve and you know, you get these challenges, but how you handle it matters a lot.
Oh yeah.
But with all these challenges, do you think you have any encouragement for up and coming artists, like comedians, entertainers, who want to be like you, like a great MC?
Yes. And I just have this to say to anybody who has challenges and people around them, family, friends, girlfriend, neighbor, boyfriend, whatever. If you take whatever it is that has been told to you or done to you, and you take it back to yourself to hurt yourself, you're only going to fall out into the limelight of depression. But the best way for you to handle stuff like this is 20% what is told to you and 80% how you receive it. Because everything boils down to happiness. And one of the big things that I know right now that is really helping me and helping me grow is the fact that I don't take nothing to heart. So as an up-and-coming artist who's going through a lot and people are not trying to help you just because you are coming up, take it upon yourself to find a way to embrace what you're doing. If you are genuine with yourself and you love what you do, don't worry about who's not supporting for now. Because I am very proud to say, when I moved to Atlanta, I had a lot of female clientele. It doesn't have anything to do with sexually involved. These females enjoy my friendship, my personality, and they choose to book me. And they booked me for so long that right now, the male side of them, the males right now in Atlanta are beginning to book me. In a nutshell of all I'm saying is, find your onions. Find your onions. Even if 200,000 people says no to you, one person will say yes. And when you say that yes, cherish that moment. Mm-hmm. Because that yes is going to take you to another 200,000 yeses.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. So you have to find your onions and know how you respond to the negativity that comes your way. Like me, I tell a lot of people, I know my demon. I know my demon, and I'm holding in key for the chain. Now, when I release the key, now my demon feel misbehave. But as far as I hold that key, that demon no get out. Life. Because I have known who I know who I am. And because I know who I am, it's going to be difficult for any individual to approach me with a negativity. Because as you're coming with that negativity, there's a brick wall before you get to me that have attracted the positive side of you that I will take out of before I even say, hey, what's up? How you doing? You good? But I already seen you from a mile away that you're a bad person or you're a negative person or you have an energy that I don't want to deal with. But because you are approaching me with something, I would like to hear it. I would like to know what your plans are, what you want to say to me. And if it's something that I could accumulate, I will. And when it's going towards the negativity, I know how to stop it, I know how to branch it, and I know how to branch out.
Well, thank you so much, JSB. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
We're going to call this a wrap for today.
Yeah, baby.
So that we can handle other things. But before we go, how do people get to meet you? Where can people find you on social media?
So you can find me on social media on every platform besides Facebook. and Snapchat. On every platform besides Facebook and Snapchat is I am JSB 100. I keep it 100. Everywhere I go, I keep it 100. I am JSB 100. You see me on every platform: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, what is that called? LinkedIn, yes, and all of that. You will find me. YouTube, I am JSB 100. Snapchat, Facebook is JSB OBIOWO, and poof, there it is. I'm right there. Feel me? And just to wrap up this whole conversation, I want people to also remember, being bold doesn't make you old. Okay? Humility is not stupidity. Being humble doesn't mean you should be manipulated. It just means you don't give way or give room to things you don't want to. And you giving room to things you don't want to, that doesn't mean you should belittle yourself to impress someone else.
Absolutely.
So humility is not stupidity. I'm going to leave it at that.
So before we go, I still need to say one more word to people still struggling to be on top. You know, today everybody wants to be, because of social media, everybody wants to be known. Everybody wants to be out there. What is your advice?
2 words. Stay happy. That's it. You want to be on top. You want to be made. You want to have your business flourishing. You want to have people see you. You want to have people research you. Stay happy, because from happiness, you will find peace of mind. From peace of mind, you will find patience. Mm-hmm. From patience, you will see growth. From growth, you will see favor. From favor, you will understand random act of kindness. So all those things come together. It's a normal moral that a lot of humans don't have no more. Most people are thinking about money. Their financial status is way bigger than their personal status. It's just like now, my phone is about to die. I'm quick to go rush to get a charger to charge the phone because I don't want the phone to die. What about your life? How quick are you to recharge that life of yours so it stays graceful for people to tap from and be happy they did? So those are the differences. You want to grow, you want to make money, you want to be successful in life, find happiness.
The Big Tega Podcast, powered by Big Tega Media.